buy it, we wear it, we love it. Fashion. It's the perfect combination of art.
I just like a little bit of blouson.
And business.
Fashion is 1% glamour and 99% hard work.
The fashion industry in the U.S. economy is substantial, and in the global economy, it's enormous.
Now a new generation of designers
This year, we're projecting close to about 50 million.
is facing a new generation of challenges.
We were working out of our apartments, being supported by our wives, no employees and no office.
Outside talent.
We took what was turning out really good and just made it even more insane.
Breaking in.
We just feel like we got invited to the A-list party, so we're just excited to be here.
Insiders. Breaking out.
Started with the tunic, and that's something that I found in a Paris flea market for $6.
The style setters.
Oh my goodness, what have I got myself in for?
From Vogue.
Just layer and layer and layer and layer. Nothing was too much.
You have outdone yourself once again.
Clean it pretty good too, merci.
To Gossip Girl.
It's become this fashion-driven, iconic pop series of the millennium.
And the new faces on the verge of becoming household names.
When the First Lady wore one of my dresses, it was an incredible moment.
The young designers that we're helping today will be the future of American fashion.
Inside.
So come on in.
Emerald, come down more towards Alex.
Backstage.
Make sure all your models are in line.
We're doing a big fashion show, the biggest we've ever done.
Just what it takes
You have to have fun, and you have to love what you're doing.
to make it. Fashion Forward, Making It. Hosted by Ashley Green.
Fashion. It's not just what we wear, it's who we are and who we want to be. On the surface, it's about style, glamour, and celebrity. But at its heart, it's about inspiration, creativity, and dreams. Dreams. That's what's happening here at Los Angeles Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. Tonight, you'll meet the future of fashion. Young, talented, and supported by an industry determined to make sure that their future is as bright as its past.
No one throws a party quite like the fashion world.
Just looking cute and explore the fashion.
Stores around the country and around the world stayed up late for Fashion's Night Out 2010, celebrating the art of fashion
Fashion's Night Out 행사 왔는데요.
and supporting the millions whose lives depend on fashion success. It was a party with a purpose.
They're fashion lovers. We love fashion. We love it.
On Fashion's Night Out in New York City, crowds flooded streets and stores to shop.
Make some noise!
Meet celebrities, and brush elbows with their favorite designers.
How's the ice cream?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're in line to see Mary Kate and Ashley at their store, Elizabeth James.
More like rock stars than rising stars, fashion's newest generation was out in force. And no one created more energy and excitement than Alexander Wang.
I just jammed out with Alexander Wang, and it was amazing.
He's beyond a rock star. He's like a Van Gogh to fashion.
This is what fashion should be about. It's about fun, energy, individuality. I love it.
Alexander Wang's meteoric rise began in 2006 at the age of 22, when the San Francisco-born design school dropout launched his first line.
I decided to take an opportunity and take a chance and try something, and then if it didn't work out, I could always go back to school.
His look, described as effortless, sexy, casual cool, was fresh and an immediate hit. And its success marked the culmination of a dream more than a decade in the making.
It started as something that I loved to do when I was, young. Around 10, 11, I actually made my first pair of pants. They were kind of like a pair of gingerbread man pants, I called them, because they didn't have a center seam, and I wore them to school. And like within the first hour of me sitting down, they completely split open, and it was like the most embarrassing thing.
Wang's technique improves with age, capturing the attention of the fashion industry.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
How are things going?
Really well.
He is a talent that you can sort of recognize almost right away. He knew he wanted to dress his own generation at a certain price in a certain way.
And then an influence kind of Japanese like origami. It's all one piece on the top. And then Anna Wintour has been very supportive since a very early stage of my career. This idea of kind of industrialization on really raw and organic materials.
The young designers that we're helping today will be the future of American fashion.
I just like my mom and my brother and my sister-in-law and things.
In fact, Wang got help in 2008 when he won the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Award for Emerging Designers, a prize that included a $200,000 business grant and a year-long mentorship program with an industry giant.
I was able to have Miss Diane von Furstenberg as my mentor.
And that did not mean just giving advice. We actually gave a lot of our company access to our production department, access to our finance department.
I was like, wow, anything is possible. I'd just like a little bit of blouson back here, maybe like another 2 inches. Is it gonna be this shape? Let's see something. Let's do a twist like that. Cool.
Most designers are creative people. They think outside the box.
Drop like 1.5 inches.
But they don't really know how to translate that into making something and selling it. So we can help them understand the business side of fashion.
For the young designers starting out, they have to be careful. You have to take a long-term point of view.
We're going to talk to you about the 3 different ideas.
Think about who you are, what your signature is, what this brand will be one day.
It's a learning curve. Fashion is a business. At a certain point, you evolve and to challenge yourself. Like, how do you take that now and put it into a showroom, present it as a collection? Not this style, though. No, not this shape. Know who your customer is, what stores you're selling to, what magazines you want to be involved with. So much of what excites me is the challenge of doing something that's creative, but at the same time that is commercially successful. You know, something that's sold, that people can buy and that they can wear. It's not just buying a coat. Without people buying things, certain people can't make money to buy food. And then it pays the sales associate, it pays the electrician who put the lights up, it pays the people who painted the walls. There's so many people involved in this industry that only some people actually get to kind of represent it.
With his name on the label, there is a constant pressure to both perform and create.
You're only as good as your last collection, and as everyone knows, fashion is always changing, so you can't stay stagnant either. People always ask me, how do I get inspired? Some of the hair is even kind of like tucked in. It's not necessarily taking a trip somewhere, sketching for 2 weeks and then coming back. It's usually kind of my walk to work, or, you know, we're in a fitting and something rips and I'm like, wait, that looks really cool, you know, or a trash bag gets stuck on my foot, you know, and I'm like, wait, that looks like a really cool shoe.
As his sales figures prove, Wang's unique aesthetic has struck a nerve with fashionistas.
The last 2 years have been an exhilarating ride. This year, we're projecting close to about 50 million conservatively for the company. Our business tripled in size. We're gonna be moving a whole other portion of our company down to this floor. It's exciting, you know, every time we get another floor, I'm always like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, it's happened so quickly.
Emerald, come down more towards Alex.
In 2010, the hot young designer found himself nominated for 2 of the industry's highest honors, the CFDA Fashion Award for Women's Wear Designer of the Year and the Swarovski Award for Accessory Design.
The winner of the Swarovski Award for Accessory Design goes to Alexander Wang.
This award goes to everyone that I work with. The reality of this business is that you can make it whatever you really want it to be.
Alex is just a smart, talented kid that's got a great business.
When you're feeling something so passionately, you aren't able to turn it off.
And it's really an incredible success story.
I'm a very lucky kid, and I feel so blessed every day that I can wake up and go to work and live out my dream.
Who decides what's hot, what's sexy, and what you'll be wearing next?
Coming up.
I love this jacket. I'd love to have this jacket.
Tabitha does. Vogue's secret weapon. Designers may make the clothes, but it's the stylists who pull it all together. From photo shoots to runway shows, these sharp-eyed tailors of taste have one job. Simply make everything look amazing.
Is Christy coming down?
Meet Tabitha Simmons, a Vogue magazine styling star. It's her vision, dressing a model from head to toe, that can set a trend.
Putting together outfits, I think, are my strengths. Like, I can take, something from the street and mix it with a designer and then put it all together.
You'll find her styling for Dolce & Gabbana and other top designers around the world.
I traveled to Milan and then flew here and went into Vogue yesterday. And then tomorrow I leave for Paris.
Tabitha was part of a team from Vogue, enlisted by editor-in-chief Anna Wintour.
We're doing a big fashion show, the biggest we've ever done.
Their mission? To conceive, organize, and execute the spectacular kickoff for Fashion's Night Out. And Tabitha had just the right background for the job.
I've always been into clothes ever since I was a very young age. When I was in school, you had to wear a uniform, so I think that's when my first interest came. Like, when you're being told to sort of wear the same thing every single day, I think it obviously had an effect.
That's good. Maybe that as well.
This is great.
That's
really great.
Tabitha, the stylist, and the Vogue team would now have to dress more than 150 models.
I think it was, oh my goodness, what have I got myself in for? Because it was a big mountain to sort of climb.
So then I was going to mix it
Anna Wintour wanted 7 trends for the fashion show, including the 50s, global travelers, and rocker girls.
So this look was from the 50s, and it was a big trend of the season.
Each trend would have 20 different looks, from high-end couture to the Gap.
We actually all really loved it. Then we added a little sort of granny purse with it and a kitten heel. 50s, slightly sort of Mad Men feeling. This section was the rocker section. Skinny leather pants, military jackets, tight, slightly metallic dresses.
Tabitha's road to making it began in London, at the bottom of the fashion food chain.
I used to work at a shop on a Saturday. It was a very kind of happening store at the time. So that was when I, got very into all the designer labels.
That led to some modeling.
I was a disaster of a model. I wouldn't turn up to my castings. I wouldn't stay still on set.
But the experience exposed her to the world of stylists. She moved to New York, and after 3 years working for smaller magazines, Anna Wintour called. Tabitha got her dream job as a stylist with Vogue.
A stylist has very different jobs. There's editorial, which means that you take in all the clothes for the magazines and then you put together outfits and do sitting shoots.
And Tabitha's using her sense of style to create her own sizzling line of footwear.
These are kind of like the factory drawings. Because I was always told that, you have to look after your feet and you can't wear points, you can't wear a heel because it's going to wreck your feet. And you leave college and you're like, yes, I can wear a heel. My line's very, very sexy, but it's also slightly quirky. It's like a woman that's got a personality. She's not sort of like a little sort of wallflower. Celebrities that have worn my shoes are Gwyneth Paltrow, Naomi Watts, and Tina Fey. This was a spread I did with Scarlett Johansson.
While designing came naturally, learning about the retail and production side of the business was an eye-opener.
You can have the most amazing pieces, but if you're not together, then they'll never get into the store.
And being together was what it took.
I can't quite believe we're here.
Managers, please make sure all your models are in line.
For Tabitha and Teen Vogue to pull off the big fashion show at Lincoln Center. Some of the world's top supermodels opened the show.
Karolina Korkova, Coco, Lily. That's Jordan, Kylie, and Alexandra, and Naomi. And then this is where all the trends start. There was 2 girls that had to literally lead all of the looks through the winding paths of the circle. So we were all terrified that they won't remember their steps. because then literally it would end up in chaos. So the pressure was on.
The things we do for fashion.
So now this is all the 50s look. This is clean chic now coming in. And this is all the country weekend with the long skirts. 1920s, they sort of had this sort of 20s hair, colour washes of like violet and pale pinks. And they were beautiful, like they were very elegant velvet gowns. I loved this. I loved the Global Traveller. We would just layer and layer and layer and layer, and it was, nothing was too much. We just put as much jewellery on, we gave them so much hair, and it was a really, really fun section.
Then the finale, starring the stunning supermodels.
The ball gowns, it was sort of like a great dramatic ending, I think, to such a sort of big show and a big sort of space. And here comes Naomi, and she's in Oscar de la Renta looking fabulous. So that's Giselle in Marchesa and Angela in Vuitton. And then there was a near disaster. If you can see Kylie Kloss, and she had this huge, great kind of train, and I heard this sort of plastic clicking, and there's a trouser hanger on the back of her dress. And we sort of commando style jumped on her, and I took it off just as she was about to walk out. Thank goodness I was there and saw it and ran for it.
That hands-on approach, jump-in attitude, and passion are why Tabitha is making it.
You have to have fun and you have to love what you're doing, because if you don't love what you're doing, then I don't think you'd be able to do all this and survive.
Next, 2 Brits, 1 dream, and some serious fans.
My name is Halle Berry, and I'm here at Rag & Bone because they are one of my favorite designers.
No doubt we're living in tough times, when even the biggest names in fashion are feeling the heat. So launching a new label might be just plain crazy. But there's a new breed of designer going old school, using the past to make their mark on the future.
The British-born duo behind Rag & Bone, Marcus Wainwright and David Neville, did not follow the usual path to success.
I was working in an investment bank in London, sort of in my early 20s.
I had a telecoms company in London, and it was pretty soul-destroying stuff. So I decided that I'd had enough of London and went to live in Mexico and met a girl on the beach, who's now my wife.
I think the first words he said to her were, "Do you speak English?" She luckily said yes. He chased her to New York. That was the seed, really, for Rag & Bone, because Marcus was then here and had the idea to try and start making some men's jeans. I came out to New York with a view to really just trying to give this our best shot.
We didn't have any idea how to do it.
The 2 fashion novices visited denim factories in the American South, where they learned about making clothes by hand.
That was really the birth of Rag & Bone in many, many ways. We got our experience in how to make jeans and an appreciation of craftsmanship and what can go into a piece of clothing.
We've cared about how we were going to make the clothes, perhaps before we began to understand what the aesthetic of Rag & Bone was going to be.
At a time when 97% of American clothing production is done overseas, these British transplants made a commitment to have most of their apparel handmade in the USA.
It's sort of old-fashioned in that way. It makes it more labor-intensive, but we believe in that sort of authenticity.
And this factory in Brooklyn is where we make all of our tailored clothing. It's one of the last remaining factories making handmade suits in any sort of volume left in America. I think this is nice.
My name is Martin Greenfield, and I'm here in this building for a little over 63 years. I need to make sure that this place produces perfect clothing.
You can let it out, but...
The waist is okay.
And as a designer, it's just lovely to be able to come and see people who take so much pride in the quality and the craftsmanship of something, rather than just trying to make something really fast.
Okay?
Yeah, that's great.
To make a jacket for Rag & Bone, it takes 108 operations to make one jacket. And why? Because every item has to be basted, has to be put together, and it's got to be made that they all fit and look exactly the same.
So you could give me a bit of angle. It's not cheap, it's not quick, but you get an amazing product out of it, really beautifully made, down to the buttonholes. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's something that's very hard to find and very important to try and sort of cling to and support, because once this is gone, this kind of thing, it'll never come back.
As Rag & Bone has developed, you know, we've really kind of fused our influences, being the fact that we're English guys and we live in America. And we like the idea of when people had tailored suits, tailored clothes made specifically for them, but to dress it down a little bit and be a little bit uptown, a little bit downtown.
This high meets low aesthetic has not only come to define the Rag & Bone brand, it is also the reason for the unique name, which comes from an old English tradition of a junkman who collected rags and bones while wearing a tailored suit.
And that contradiction of tailored workwear is really interesting, and I think that's what we do well as a brand.
We started our life in Rag & Bone in this showroom. Middle of 2006, we were working out of our apartments, being supported by our wives, with no employees and no office.
Like literally filling out UPS forms by hand. Real pain in the ass.
And now we have 70-something people and a wonderful workspace and studio.
You had to grow the business, but you can't grow the business at the expense of the brand. And so our growth has been controlled.
I see them growing carefully. They've not made any stupid mistakes. They haven't expanded too quickly.
Guidance from the fashion establishment has been invaluable.
We had the opportunity to meet with Ralph Lauren a few times. His advice to us was open a store. This is our latest retail store. We're not gonna rip it apart. The success of our retail stores and the way that we're able to really sort of talk directly to the consumer has been a really big part of the last couple of years for us.
Like fellow designer Alexander Wang, the Rag & Bone Boys also won a 2010 CFDA Fashion Award in the category of Menswear Designer of the Year.
You know, we're lucky, I think. We have a pretty good relationship. We don't row so much.
He's very positive. I'm actually quite negative. It works very well in a funny sort of way.
How do we look?
I've been up since 5, and it's been pretty busy.
To celebrate the year's success and embrace fashion's night out, Rag & Bone threw a block party, and everybody showed up.
My name is Halle Berry, and I'm out for Fashion's Night Out because I love fashion. I care about our economy, and a night like this sort of infuses some energy into our fashion industry. And I'm here at Rag & Bone because they are one of my favorite designers, and I couldn't think of a better place to stop by tonight.
And they're well on their way to becoming a really major brand.
That was a good one, put that in.
When we return, two superstars making a lot more than just great music.
These are the clothes that we believe in and that we would wear.
And backstage at Gossip Girl, where fashion is the star. While fashion's always been driven by bold-faced names and red carpets, there's a lot more at stake. It's a $300 billion a year industry, providing millions of jobs. That's what these young designers here are hoping for. And if they're lucky, maybe their clothes will end up on one show where fashion is making it, Gossip Girl, where the clothes get almost as much attention as its stars.
Love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl. The things we do for fashion.
You two look gorgeous.
The things we do for fashion.
Stop whatever you're doing, we need to shop. Fashion is a huge part of our show, so we're definitely playing that in today.
Gossip Girl kicked off its 4th season with the fashion industry's biggest party.
We're here in the Meatpacking District shooting an episode of Gossip Girl where we're celebrating Fashion's Night Out.
As you can see, it's pretty crazy.
Each week, millions tune in to see the latest trends worn by Serena, Blair, Chuck, Jenny.
I should let you kill me.
You have outdone yourself once again.
You clean it pretty good too.
Merci.
But behind every ball gown, bow tie, and headband,
No more headbands.
this is the man
Come on
making it happen.
Hi, I'm Eric Damon. I'm the costume designer for Gossip Girl.
And this is where he makes fashion magic.
Here we are in the wonderful wardrobe room, which everyone calls Alibaba's Cavern. This is pretty much my office. This is where me and the girls work every day, getting everything in for the show, getting all the costumes together.
Do they have that in long?
For Fashion's Night Out, it was up to Damon and his team to bring the clothes to the party.
We have probably between all the girls that we actually dress, our main characters and our background, probably 150 costumes on set right now for one scene for one afternoon.
The scene is classic Gossip Girl. Big party, beautiful clothes. And of course, feuding leading ladies, Blair and Serena.
Hey, have you guys seen Blair? Serena has come to confront Blair, but what better way to confront her than at Fashion's Night Out where there's tons of people and fashion and chaos and everybody celebrating.
Finally, nothing makes it a party like a Serena Blair showdown.
And she comes in a fabulous gown.
I think we've seen enough.
The two frenemies have become style icons. Serena's look effortless and sexy. Blair's that of old Hollywood glamour.
It's really funny to see how girls and people in general have really adapted to the idea of, oh, I'm a Serena or I'm a Blair. It's kind of like Team Blair, Team Serena, and they really identify with the fashions of each girl.
Though many of the clothes are high-end, Damon wants to keep the looks accessible for the show's fans.
You can do it for less. You don't have to be head-to-toe super expensive designer.
Live dangerously.
And when it comes down to it, I think fashion is about feeling good and having a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun here on Gossip Girl.
They say nothing breeds success like success. But in the fashion business, there are no guarantees. Not even for a pair of superstars.
I grew up a fan of music, I grew up a fan of film, grew up a fan of fashion, and I'll continue to be that.
Justin Timberlake is more than a fan of fashion. He's a player.
The William Rast brand is a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
William Rast reflects Justin's new America style. Leather and denim with the edge, and a little attitude.
These are the clothes that we believe in and that we would wear, you know. To me, it's a complete lifestyle.
Justin and his BFF, Trace Ayala, started William Rast.
Something we've always wanted to do. And the more we talked about it, the more we became enthused about it. I think we just got so creative in our conversations as best friends that we just said, well, now we have to do it.
William Rast pays respect to their Tennessee roots.
William is my grandfather's first name. Rast is his grandfather's last name. So William Bomar and John Rast, William Rast.
I think if you take it in the back, it'll be good.
Yeah.
And Justin wants to make customers get.
If there's one thing I've learned about women, they want it in the caboose area. We try to bring in creative minds that can help you bring your vision to fruition.
On certain shoes we keep.
William Rast designer, Marcella Lindeberg.
Working with Justin is amazing. He's incredibly talented, is very, very creative.
I really like this jacket.
Justin believes in collaboration. It's what inspires him and his team to design clothes customers want to wear.
We all sit in a circle and hacky sack an idea, and we run with it.
It's funny how I find myself.
Pop music sensation and style maven Gwen Stefani has also made a seamless connection between her music and fashion.
We took what was turning out really good and just made it even more like insane by putting the print into it.
For spring 2011, her collection Lamb takes on a tribal theme.
It's a lot of color, it's a lot of fun, exciting, like patterns and prints and layers and beading.
Gwen's look is all about cutting-edge women's wear, handbags, and fragrances. Back in the day, Gwen created some of the outfits she wore on stage at her concerts. Hundreds of excited fans came out to greet her at Fashion's Night Out in New York City.
Anna Winter, look what you've done to New York.
Designers or big celebrities like a Gwen Stefani or Justin Timberlake who have their own sense of style, work on the collections. One feels that they're in it for the long haul, so we welcome them. I mean, the more attention that superstars can bring to the fashion industry, the better it is for all of us.
We did a viral campaign. We created these sort of miniature films, and the clothes kind of just were in these mini films.
Just hold on, baby.
It was kind of Bonnie and Clyde meets McQueen, all the badasses. Can I say that on your show?
My name is William Rast.
All the badasses.
Celebrity designers understand these are tough times. Gwen's keeping it real by making lamb available in major department stores. This month, William Rast has a limited run at Target.
To be able to attain a lifestyle doesn't mean you have to spend your whole bank account to do it.
Justin and Gwen are committed to the fashion world and understand the importance of being a part of that community.
We just feel like we got invited to, the A-list party, so we're just excited to be here.
How does the fashion industry make sure there's no shortage of new talent? Easy. They grow their own.
We all want to be a success, and we all want to contribute to the American fashion industry.
If they want to survive in this industry, fashion's next generation will definitely need a strong creative vision. But as we've seen, maybe even more important, a killer business instinct.
Fashion is not glamour. Fashion is 1% glamour and 99% hard work.
Okay, thank you.
To succeed in fashion takes patience.
Meet the new generation of fashion.
It's not only enough to be creative.
Bibhu Mohapatra, Alice Ritter, Prabal Gurung.
So come on in. This is my space here. So welcome in. I would call myself, I'm an American sportswear designer with an American couture ideals.
Prabal launched his first line in 2009, and soon after, he received what amounted to a presidential endorsement.
Welcome, Mrs. Obama. When the First Lady wore one of my dresses, it was an incredible moment.
Despite his early triumphs, dressing a First Lady to a leading lady, Prabal knows that's no guarantee of future success.
At the end of the day, I keep on insisting, your product needs to speak for itself. The longevity of the business is what I'm interested in.
Helping emerging designers like Prabal break through is the mission of a new 2-year program called The Incubator, sponsored by the Council of Fashion Designers of America.
So this is a few of the pieces from the spring collection.
Prabal, much like a lot of the designers in the incubator, is a true American immigrant story. He didn't grow up here. He grew up in Singapore.
Stephen Kolb is the CFDA's executive director.
The designers in the incubator are selected because they clearly have talent. Just drape like that and doesn't close up. Yeah. But building on talent is what can we offer them in terms of infrastructure and support on the business side.
In its first year, the incubator sponsored 12 designers. All were working in the business and showed promise of making it on their own.
Biggest thing that has happened to my business.
Bibhu Mohapatra is another designer being fully hatched in the incubator.
After working for 10 years, I decided that I'm ready to go on my own. Can we do a backstage from?
In the case of Bibhu, he has been a working designer for a long time. He worked for Gilles Mendel. During the day, he was working on his own collection at night out of his apartment. By selecting Bibhu, we were able to bring him into the neighborhood.
That neighborhood is New York City's Garment District, where the program provides low-cost studio space, mentoring, and the oh-so-valuable connections to key players.
The incubator program made a huge difference. Our operation has grown like 4 times in the last year.
Bibhu's designs are classic, fresh, and youthful. One dress even making an appearance on Gossip Girl.
This is one of my gowns for the spring collection that is entirely draped. So I'm trying to drape him so that it can be hands-on.
Bibhu is already flying solo, but the incubator hopes to make him a bold-faced name. He's one step closer after his showing at New York's Fall Fashion Week.
This is the spring-summer collection.
For Alice Ritter, being a part of the freshman class was life-changing.
Huge support when they selected me. I mean, I was on the verge almost of stopping. I was like, maybe I should consider another profession. It's just too hard. Hello, how are you? We recognize that my business is valuable, my designs are good, and I should keep going. But I think you can be feminine and sexy without showing too much.
French-born, Alice moved to New York 12 years ago, bought her first sewing machine, and has been creating one-of-a-kind pieces.
Alice has a very unique point of view about the Alice Ritter customer. In some ways, Alice is her own muse.
I like this collection because I feel that I'm gonna wear it.
Alice describes her style as French romantic meets Annie Hall.
It's French-inspired, so you have basic pieces, but it's infused with a free spirit I find in New York and in the girls in New York, for example.
The inaugural class can feel the future right under their fingers. For Prabal, Bibhu, and Alice, it's all about literally making it.
Even though fashion seems like a closed society, you have many people who are willing to help, and if you're young and you have enthusiasm and you just show it, people will open their door for you, for sure.
What do you do when you make it?
I'm Tori Birch.
Next.
I feel it's imperative to give back.
Pay it forward.
She definitely sees the potential in us.
You've made the sacrifices and done the work. Now a lot of people are wearing your clothes. So what's next for Tori Birch?
Designer Tori Birch creates clothes women want to wear. Fresh and fashionable without a sky-high price tag.
When I think about the Tori Birch customer, we know that she's smart, she's educated in fashion, she knows what she likes, and she appreciates the quality that we're able to achieve in our designs for the price point. I do like those pants.
But this former tomboy didn't take the traditional path to the fashion runway.
I think there's definite challenges that come along with not having a design background, but I also think there's a lot of positives to that as well.
And then this would be replacing the drop.
Tori started on the business side of fashion, working with some of the world's most famous designers.
I was lucky enough to work for so many people that I really admire, and one is Ralph Lauren. I worked with Vera Wang and also Narciso Rodriguez, so I feel that I was really lucky to be surrounded by such incredible designers and really taking it in.
That experience and her creative vision helped her build her business, a company she started with these friends in her kitchen.
I think it started with the tunic, and that's something that I found in a Paris flea market for $6.
Since starting 6 years ago, her business has blown up big time, with 33 stores in the US and 5 around the globe. Tori's at the top of her game.
Young girls are wearing our tunics as short dresses for on the beach or at night.
Tori's style and signature medallion make a statement, and her famous ballet flats are a fashionista favorite.
It's been a fantastic success. It's my mother's name, so maybe that had a little bit to do with the luck of it.
It's Fashion Night Out!
At Fashion's Night Out in New York City, hundreds of Tory Burch customers came out to celebrate and show their love.
I love meeting them. I want to see who is wearing our clothes. I think it's so amazing that they choose to wear our things. I'm completely honored. I actually like the patch too.
She's just doing accessible, feminine, fashionable clothes that are very understandable to the consumer. And she's out there all the time representing her brand. I think she understands exactly who she is, and that's a huge, huge plus.
And who she is not just about driving her own brand. Tori is paying it forward.
I feel it's imperative to give back.
Through her own foundation, she's investing in women with great ideas.
She definitely sees the potential in us.
Women like Andra Duncan and Shakima Francois, founders of Cousin & Company.
These young girls started a handbag line that's great looking. They have a whole slew of cousins that help with their company.
She just really encouraged us that we were on the right track as far as overall like what we were doing, the line, the bags, the material.
Even though we believed in our heart, to see someone at her caliber say, well, this is a great line, I love this, and this, you guys are doing a great job to design, was like, wow.
They're entrepreneurs and they're part of our future.
And the future means staying relevant and being accessible. Tori's blog and social media link her with customers 24/7 because this style maker doesn't do print ads.
E-commerce is very successful for us. We look at it as our biggest store, so we're looking at it as a retail store. I think social media as well, that's something that is direct contact with your customer. We have feedback, positive, negative, right away. So to me, that's invaluable. To survive in this business, it takes passion, and it takes loving what you do, and I think that's something that I'm so fortunate to be able to say.
There's no question that the business of fashion is so much more than red carpets. Behind all the glamour and the celebrity, there's an enormous amount of hard work done by an incredible number of people. But if you have the drive, the talent, and yes, maybe a little bit of luck, maybe you can make it happen.
Yeah.